So welcome back to the channel, guys. Today is a very special, you know, topic, and we're gonna talk wire leaders. If you guys are familiar with fishing, well, mainly this topic is about fishing. So I know most of you guys probably not interested, but I just wanna say this out. But to you fisher folks out there, you would know what I'm talking about. And it is not an easy thing that when you're fishing and you get a good bite. When I say a good bite, like a solid bite, probably from something that you don't even know what you're fishing for, but you got it on the end of your line, and suddenly you get this, this anxious feeling that you're about to catch something big, and you can see it out there in the water just shooting, flying, diving, or whatever you want to say. But then suddenly something goes wrong, and then you just got loose from the big fish. And by the time you're in, all you can see is just the braided line or the monofilament. Everything is gone. So today I'm gonna show you guys how to, kind of prevent that, in a sense. And you can go out and buy these wire leaders at any fishing shop, but today what I'm gonna show you is how to actually make one. So you're gonna make a top quality wire leader, but this one I bought. I was using one, and I realized that whenever I hook a big fish, it will still break loose, which means it is not rated for, like heavy fish. Like, say for instance, you catch a, like a 20-pound barracuda, it's gonna still rip it. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna make a heavy duty one, and as you can see, two different size of cables. This one is a bike cable, like for that you use to shift gears on a mountain bike. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make one from this cable. So sit back and just relax, and you will see the process of doing this. So firstly, you need a hook, and I'm not just saying any hook, but you just need a proper hook that when you get a good fish, it's not gonna turn this curve into a straight line. So you need a proper hook. Right now I'm using a number 5 circle hook. The brand doesn't matter, just as long as you have a good hook that you're comfortable fishing with. It doesn't make sense you have a strong leader and a weak hook. You kind of need them to be balanced. So a strong hook, a strong leader. And you also don't need a strong hook and a weak leader, because at the end of the day, you're still going to lose your fish. So I've been losing fish for the past days, like big fish, and it is not fun. It is not fun to see that you lose the biggest catch that you probably ever hold, and it's not a good feeling. It's a stink feeling. So I've been doing some thinking, and I'm like, why can't I just use ordinary like rope wire to make wire leaders? But then again, it will be so thick that the fish might be spooked. And then again, but you can even spray it. But I'm just gonna use the gear shifting cable that you can find off a mountain bike, and I'm gonna make the leader. So these are the steps. Let me just put this to the side. So what you want to do is, this cable is made up of like probably hundreds of smaller cables. So what you want to do is, if you have a fingernail, or you can probably use a knife, let's just let me just use a knife for, safety measures. So what you want to do is you want to split the cable, right at the end, and then you start unwinding it. So you can see it actually spreads out. So what you want to do now is roll it off in a neat manner, right? So you want to take your time and do this process because it is very, very, very important that you get it unwind properly. So you want to take your time and unwind it. Take your time and unwind it. You don't have to go all the way down. You get like 2-3 inches of this and you're good. You're good. So, all right. And what you want to do now is give it just a little spiral, and then you hold everything together, and then you go through the eye of the hook with one end. You got to make sure all the cables on this half, make sure all the cables go through. So you want to take your time and do this. So now that all of it is through, right, what you want to do now is start making a curve, probably 1 over or 1 under. It doesn't really matter how you go. The most important part is getting it to lock inside one of these grooves. Once it's in one of the grooves, you're good to go. So what you want to do now is look for a groove. Find the one that interlocks it, and then you're gonna start rolling. And you roll it. You do the same thing for this side too. You find the groove, and then you roll it, continue roll it. So it's like you're making a endless knot. All right, you're making an endless knot. But this one, what I forget to mention to you was that while you're taking the curve, let me just unwind it so you would better understand what I'm saying. So I'm gonna undo the entire thing. I'm gonna undo it, and then you see it's back. So before you go about trying to interlock it, what you want to do is make sure at the end of the day that this reach like right across to this point. You don't want it longer. It can go shorter, but it would be more neater if you bring it back as close as possible to this single joint. So what you want to do is like make a loop, see to it that it gets as close as possible, and then that is where you go ahead now and you're finding the groove that fit. You gotta find the groove that fit, because if it doesn't fit, it's gonna look all wobbly, and you don't want it to look like this, right? So you find the groove that it fits. You just find the groove. If it doesn't work one way, flip it the other way, because sometimes it all depends on how you wind it off. So I've got it locked into place. I don't know how well you can see, but I've got it locked into place. So what you want to do now is start rolling under. You see it's coming to a smooth finish, smoother than how I had it at first, and you just continue rolling, and you get an even smoother finish. As you can see right here is a bit, I might have to unwind right across here, but I'm gonna continue with this part and just keep going at it. So we're almost to the tip of it, and this is where it gets like a bit confusing, because what you want to do now is you gotta get all of these back through the eye of the hook. right? I've missed a few. So you can actually see I missed two, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the, actually let's just try and get all through. Let's just try and get all through. And we are almost finished. But these two are so stubborn that they don't want to go in. Okay, so now that it's true, that was a long process. So now that it's true, you're gonna keep winding it, and what this does, it gives it a more comfortable fit, right? And as you can see, very smooth. It is very smooth, except for right across there. But yeah, so I'm gonna unwind this part a little bit, straighten out the one that is not intact, and you'll be ready to sweep again. I think I got it. So you're just gonna keep winding this. You see, and you realize how it fits back, like exactly like this part. Look at this part, like nothing ever happened to it. That's kind of the idea that you get in. Like, you want to make sure that, you know, it's like the same. So then you just continue winding it until you can see almost, you know, no bumps. Okay, so we're to the point where it almost shapes like this. All right, but there's still a missing compartment. So what I'm going to use is heat shrink. All right, so I'm gonna take a heat shrink, and you're gonna kind of like wanna, this is on, it depends on how long you want the heat shrink, but typically what I would do is I would cover at least half of this and half of that. So probably half of the heat shrink would work. You can do less if you want. This is the end. I haven't done this end as yet, so you're gonna slide the shrink on, right? But first, before you put the shrink on, you're gonna want to give it a bit of tape to help keep these ends from flaring out. So before the shrink, don't forget to add the tape. So it is best if you use like masking tape, you know, paper tape. It doesn't have to be too thick. You can use a box tape, and you want to squeeze these two ends together. Put the tape. So you put the tape, give it a clip, and now look at the magic. And you're gonna wanna like roll the tape so it gives it a firm, you know, like a firm tie. Alright? So now that we have that covered, you're gonna want to set these aside first. So it's back to the shrink now. So you put the shrink on the opposite end, because it would be a problem to get it over the hook, and you're gonna slide it down. So you want to squeeze this as you slide. Squeeze it, and you can carry it basically as far as you want, but I like a little bit of, you know, a play, so the hook can at least, you know, stay. So what you want to do is you want to probably get it around there so the hook is not too, you know. So then what you want to do now is this. You need a lighter. You use a lighter, and you kind of like heat the shrink. All right, so I'm not gonna use this short piece. I'm gonna get a longer piece so I can use. I just use this for, demonstration purpose. So at least you guys know how to make your own wire leaders, right? And now you can use this to catch a barracuda, or something big with like sharp teeth, and it won't even cut this apart extremely strong. And then for this end, you just do it in reverse. So now that you have a next piece of shrink, you're gonna add the shrink first, then you're gonna split it, right? Then you're gonna split it. So let me just split this end. And you kind of want to split it in half. It doesn't have to be exact half, but you're gonna kind of want to split it in half. It's not exactly half, but it works the same way. And like I told you before, you want to go and like spin these back just so you can get the shape, right? And now you're gonna repeat the same process. You're gonna cross it, find the spot that it interlocks, and then you go ahead and you start wrapping. You go ahead and you start wrapping. And the more you do it, the more smoother you would get it to be. So it just takes a bit of practice. This one isn't so smooth, but it would work the same way. And then you just want to, again, tape. Never forget the tape. The tape is extremely important because the tape is what basically holds the end from splitting. So you're gonna kind of want to give it a bit of tape. It doesn't have to be much tape, but just give it a bit of tape. And again, I choose to do it like this because when I do it like that, it kind of gives it a nice firm wrap. So I don't have to worry about taking my hand off, going around. You get the point. And then the same shrink. And then again the same shrink. You're gonna want to take the shrink and just do the same thing. So it's like, and then you heat. Again, you heat and just heat. Keep heating until you see it shrink. And there you have it. Perfect. Well, not really perfect, but a strong wire leader that you know that when you get a good fish, you're not gonna lose it so easy. And if you want, you can even add snap swivel to this to make it easier for you to disconnect from your main line. So there you have it. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this, you can drop a comment. Tell me if you want to see me make longer ones, different size wires, because I have a bigger size wire than this. So I would like to show you guys, how to make a bigger one so you can catch that 300-pound, that 500-pound fish. Just leave it in the comment. Let me know if you guys were interested in how I made this wire leader, and then I'll gladly make a video of how to make with the bigger wires. So thanks for watching, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe.